For 5 minutes you get transported 30 years into the future. You sit in front of a computer. What information do you look up? Clearly I'm looking up biggest lottery winnings. Or top 10 Fortune 500 companies. You could also see if crypto has stuck around and which exploded. Not to mention sports betting on major events could net you some serious cash. Which crypto went to Andromeda? And the winning lottery numbers 30 years ago. Then go back, win the lottery and buy crypto. An r/askreddit thread about what stocks a time traveler from 30 years ago should buy to maximize their earnings. Time traveler from 30 years ago. What stock should I buy? 2021 guy. AAPL. TT. No. They haven't been any good since they kicked Steve Jobs out. Heavy update. Red Spy in the base. Is Queen Elizabeth II alive? You already know the answer to that one. Looking up the biggest upsets in recent sports history and betting my bank account on each. You wanna look out for a crazy wild-eyed scientist or a kid. Big boobies. Robot boobies. The f-peeping password. What f-peeping is this thing? There isn't even a space bar. F-peep. Alexa. Siri. This is if you're lucky enough to be someplace that caters to Amish or similar. Most people allowed any access at all are chipped and everything is handled by direct stimulation. Lottery numbers. And stock prices. Biggest companies founded in the 2020s. List of presidents. And major world events. 3 tabs. 3 Google searches and hopefully a pen to write them on my hand and hope it transfers back. Google 4 to 5 stocks that went to the moon and etch that steep into your arms along with 5 to 10 duds. Who cares if you come home with 2nd grade pencil ward injuries? You're about to theoretically live forever. Snap a few photos of the injuries and go to the police to report being jumped by a homeless guy that held you down and etched some weird speep into you under threat of death while reciting Latin. Now you have a cover story for them. The secretary wants to know how you knew BCRX and 4 other stocks were going to the moon. A homeless guy carved it into me, and honestly, I took it as a sign. Now produce tapes of the therapy where you rationalize it to your therapist as a coping mechanism and the therapist tells you that you're absolutely not handling the trauma well. I also dropped all this money into these stocks that were meh, so I guess I just got lucky. Don't finger any of the guys they bring into a loop because 1. That's gross. And 2. That's mean. But let it slide as an unsolved case. You've now covered your tracks and tossed some chaff into the air to boot. So you can just wait this out. You only need to pull in about $500,000 if you're in your 30s. Twice that in your 40s. And twice that again in your 50s. Then sell and diversify as depending on the type of time travel physics you're dealing with your actions may ripple outward and affect the final outcome. A la the butterfly effect. You don't want to wake up one day with no figurative arms because you've peeped with figurative firecrackers. So now you figuratively need your mom to literally jerk you off. Take your winnings and sink them into broad index funds. You can expect a diverse index fund to double about once a decade, 7 years really. But I'd prefer to use conservative numbers when calculating temporal investments. 1 million in 7 years becomes 4 million in 21 years, allowing you to retire in your 50s. That's more than enough for a comfortable life on self-sustaining investment. Gotta remember, the younger you are, when you do this, the more likely life extension therapies will be available while you're in retirement. They will be incredibly expensive at first, I'm sure. So if you're ready with the cash in hand, you can delay your death until therapies improve to the point of adding more than 1 year on average to life expectancy every year. That is how you turn your time travel investments into a theoretical eternal life. Thank you for listening to my day drinking rant. Here's to being in quarantine for the 4th peeping time in a year because my coworkers can't stop licking dork knobs. Is COVID gone? No? Okay. Just 2 more weeks and the Mars variant is gone for sure. Hang in there. I think I might look at social media and others to see what people are nostalgic about and miss from 30 years ago and try to enjoy it more when I go back. My dude, you already know what people are going to miss in 30 years. Spend time with your loved ones, friends and family alike. Take care of yourself. Have fun. Take risks. Who won WW3 and to see if top sites like Reddit and YouTube survived? You talk as if Reddit can die, sir. If the average penis size has changed due to added hormones in food. My penis size changes constantly. I want to see if Annie is okay. Being struck by the smoothest of criminals can have a lasting effect. Probably stocks. Lottery numbers could get changed by random acts, but a company would be solid. Then I'd check on my parents and see if there is anything I could do to keep them alive longer with future knowledge. Would probably spend that 5 minutes with all that if I'm quick. It's so wholesome that you'd think of your parents. My name. This is literally the only answer. It won't do any good to know stock prices if you slipped on a banana peel and died immediately after arriving back. Okay, I'm gonna type. Wait. Where is the keyboard? Picks up mouse. Hello computer. Lottery numbers. World news. How I died. After winning the lottery multiple times, Baron Coop died attempting to Scrooge McDuck dive into his giant pool of money. Stunks and sports winners. Then some politics and world events. If I still have time. Family and friends. I'd probably look up a few different lottery numbers. And then all the stunks. That way I can have a big starting amount of cash to invest with. Science and politics news. Smart decision. See what small companies exploded. Invest everything I own in those companies. It doesn't even need to be a small company. Apple wasn't small, but has exploded even compared to since Steve Jobs died. See if GTA 6 came out yet. Nope, but we get Chinatown Wars remastered somehow. I wouldn't do lottery numbers, because winning it goes with a whole bunch of baggage. I would just look up the history of companies' stock prices and use that to invest when I got back to make a lot quickly. Win second prizes for a few lotto numbers to inject money into your stock investing quickly. I don't need 50. 000. 000 win. I need 100. 000 that I can then ramp up with a few explosive growth stocks to 50. 000. 000 over the course of a year or two. I'll just take my 8TB drive and copy the entire content of Wikipedia to it. Return to my timeline and spend the next 20 hours reading it and making a fortune by the second. The guy who thought to bring a stack of floppy disks from 1991 to our time is having trouble copying valuable information from our modern computers. What is Obama's first name? Hopefully with the advanced technology we can finally know. President. Duh. Stocks and sports results and hope that the speed is decent in 30 years time. 5 minutes isn't long and too much multitasking and BSD. Bitch. I'd steal the computer. Who wouldn't want a computer 30 years more advanced than anything we have right now? A library computer would probably be more powerful than any gaming laptop we have now. Pro wrestling. Myself to see what I'm doing. Video games. What shows are airing? Who is the president? Memes. Pro wrestling. Disbanded in 2038 after Vince McMahon goes on a rampage killing a 9-year-old boy in the audience. Myself to see what I'm doing. Died in 2047 from ingesting too many pudding pops via the butthole in the Freak Season 1 finale of Mythbusters Redux. Replicating the South Park episode where they try to poop out their mouths. Video games. Cyberpunk 2381 is out. All patches for the legacy version of Cyberpunk 2077 are finally live. And Fortnite is on season 413. What shows are airing? Please upgrade to one of our Heroflix Prime search engine paid plans for this result. Tap here to subscribe with Dogecoin. Who is the president? America abolished the presidency in 2044. Senators now take turns giving the controls to the corporations that continue to pay for their teenage blood transfusion. This week, Disney CEO Mitch McConnell returns for his 398th term. Memes. How his smooth brain go brrrr. I would try to find out how to shut things down, to free the humans from their cages. What areas are most livable due to climate change? Yeah. Man, it's such a bummer that it could come to this. Is weed legal UK? It's no longer the UK. Scotland is on its own. Northern Ireland is on its own. And England is now a part of France. And Wales has decided fact there is no history of Wales after 2035.